जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हरि गणपति विघ्न विनाशन गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हरि गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हरि जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय रंगोधर पीतांबर सोहे हरिमलि मुकुटर यन्नत नारी रंगोधर पीतांबर सोहे हरिमलि मुकुटर यन्नत नारी रंगोधर पीतांबर सोहे हरिमलि मुकुटर यन्नत नारी रंगोधर पीतांबर गजमरि माल गले बिज सोहे गजमरि माल गले बिज सोहे बाल लाल में चंद करावे गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हरि गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हरि गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हरि गणपति विघ्न विनाशन हरि जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय मोर करीत दीत जननी जब तुम कचल कनो पुर जनकारी मोर करीत दीत जननी जब तुम कचल कनो पुर जनकारी मोर करीत दीत जननी जब तुम कचल कनो पुर जनकारी मोर करीत दीत जननी जब तुम कचल कनो पुर जनकारी रिधि सीरी दो चमक दुलावत रिधि सीरी दो चमक दुलावत सुर समोहति पुर जनकारी गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, सुंदर साई गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा। गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, सुंदर साई गणेशा गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा। हे शिवनंदन पाहि गजानन, हे शिवनंदन पाहि गजानन, विद्या बुद्धि प्रदाता, विद्या बुद्धि प्रदाता। मंगल कर हे, मंगल कर हे, मंगल कर हे, मंगल कर हे, सुंदर साई गणेशा गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा। गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, सुंदर साई गणेशा गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा। हे शिवनंदन पाहि गजानन, हे शिवनंदन पाहि गजानन, विद्या बुद्धि प्रदाता, विद्या बुद्धि प्रदाता। मंगल कर हे, मंगल कर हे, मंगल कर हे, मंगल कर हे, सुंदर साई गणेशा गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा। गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, गौरी माता मुक्तिदाता, सुंदर साई गणेशा गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा गणेशा, सुंदर साई गणेशा। गौरी माता। गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं, गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं, नित्यं शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं, नित्यं शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं, गणेश शरणं श्रीगुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं श्रीगुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं नित्यं शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं नित्यं शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं श्रीगुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं श्रीगुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं गणेश शरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं ॐ गं गणपतये नमो नमः श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया ॐ गं गणपतये नमो नमः श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा ॐ गं गणपतये नमो नमः श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरे ॐ गं गणपतये नमो नमः श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा गं गणपतये नमो नमः श्रीसिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। So my dear friends, when there is a visiting pundit, everybody rush to the visiting pundit, take the harmonium, put on the thing, open it up, everything else. But when there is a home stage pundit, everybody hope that the pundit will do everything for himself. For this whole yajna, if I ask some harmonium to reach here, it ain't coming. Something wrong. If I didn't bring my own set of songbook, I would have never have a songbook to sing. Of the recording, Shirley ji. If I didn't talk to the drummer, I wouldn't have a drummer. It seems as though everybody forget Pandit Vishnu and his standard. प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपेतजम्बूफलसारभक्षणम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पारपङ्कजम्। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु सरस्वतीरूपेण संस्कृतं नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरम् गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। नागेन्द्रहारं त्रिलोचनाय भस्मङ्गरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय। ॐ अञ्जनीगर्भासनमुखो वायुपुत्रो महाबल कुमारो ब्रह्मचारी च हनुमान मे प्रसिद्ध मे। ॐ भूर्भुवस्व तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गदेवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शांति 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 हरि ओम। प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम गम गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया। गणपति नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः
अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया।
ओम गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः पान फूल कोई चरावे माला, कोई चरावे
कोई चरावे माला,
कोई मंगन मांग रही गोरे रे बाला मेरे बम बोले बम बोले बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे बम बोले बम बोले बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे पराचित चोरा बिन्रा पंचचार बाल गोपाल ही मुरली गोपाल
पराचित चोरा वृंदावन संचारा, गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला,
गोविंद गोपाले नाचो गोपाला गोविंद गोपाले
नाचो गोपाला,
गोविंद गोपाले नाचो गोपाला गोविंद गोपाल
नाचो गोपाला,
गोपी मनोहर राधे गोपाल पराचित चोरा बिन्रा
गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला,
पराचित चोरा बिन्रा पंचचारा
गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला,
गोविंद गोपाले नाचो गोपाला गोविंद गोपाले
नाचो गोपाला,
गोविंद गोपाले नाचो गोपाला गोविंद गोपाले
नाचो गोपाला,
गोपी मनोहर राधे गोपाल पराचित चोरा बिन्रा
संचारा, गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला,
पराचित चोरा बिन्रा पंचचारा
गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला,
पराचित चोरा बिन्रा पंचचारा
गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला,
जय जय देवी जय जय मां जय जगदम्ब भवानी मां जय जय देवी जय जय मां जय जगदम्ब भवानी मां जय जय देवी जय जय मां जय जगदम्ब भवानी मां अम्बे भवानी माता अम्बे भवानी माता अम्बे भवानी
जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी, जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी, जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी, जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी,
अम्बे भवानी माता अम्बे भवानी माता अम्बे भवानी
जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी, 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 जय 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 जगदम्बा भवानी।
गणेश भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की। So this song was specially requested this evening, and I didn't do it a little while, so that's why I had to get the feel on the harmonium. And हे प्रभु आनंददाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए, सिर मुरारी धर्म रक्षक वीर व्रतधारी बने। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करें। प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करें। सत्य बोले झूठ त्यागे निहयप समी करे। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। दीर्घ सारे दुर्गुणों से दूर हमसे कीजिए। अरे नींद किसी की हम किसी से भूल कर भी ना करें। नींद किसी से हम किसी से भूल कर भी ना करें। दिव्य जीवन हो हमारा यश तेरा गया करे। दिव्य जीवन हो हमारा यश तेरा गया करे। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। दीर्घ सारे दुर्गुणों से दूर हमसे कीजिए। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। So, my dear friends, sorry for singing so much for you, but 5 o'clock this morning I got these requests and I want to pull it out this evening, हे हमारे प्रभु अवगुण चित न धरो। हे हमारे प्रभु अवगुण चित न धरो। समदर्शी है नाम तुम्हारा, चाहे तो पर करो लोह पूजा में रखयाता, एक गर्भवती पायो, यह दुविध पर नहीं रखाता, कंचन करत करो नाम तुम्हारा, हे हमारे प्रभु अब पुनचित ना धरो, हे हमारे प्रभु अब पुनचित ना धरो। यह माया ब्रह्मा चल निवारो, भीकरिये सिंह सारो, यह माया ब्रह्मा चल निवारो, भीकरी पार लगायो, नाही प्राण जत नाम तारो, हे हमारे प्रभु अब पुनचित ना धरो, हे हमारे प्रभु अब पुनचित ना धरो। प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। Children of God, this evening again we take another wonderful katha from the Ganesh Puran. This wonderful katha commences. Om Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahe Tanno Dhanti Prachodayam. Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai 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 Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, oh, Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Jai. Jai Shri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagwan, Jai Shri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagwan. इस यज्ञायन को सुनकर तथाक्षर मंत्र की प्रायोग भेदे के विषय में जनकर भी व्यास जी ने जिज्ञास आपुरन से रहा जाने पर भिद्यातम। जय श्री गणेश, जय जय भगवान से पुण्य यहाँ कहा हो। व्यास जी बोले मैंने सिंधे क्षेत्र तथा गणेश जी के पाप निष्काम सभी की कामनाओं को पुराण करने वाले तथा पुण्य की वृद्धि करने वाले महात्म्या को सुना। जय जय श्री गणेश जय भगवान। हे ब्रह्मन्नाप सिद्ध कायम इकट्ठा नका को पुन कर ही इसे कथा रूपे अभृत के पन करने पर भी मुझे परम सृष्टि नहीं मिला रही है। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। ब्रह्मा जी बोले हे परसार पुत्र व्यास मैं तुम्हारे समक्षा सर्वार वेद दे देवम। प्रभु गणेश जी के शुभ महान अज्ञान की कहान। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। भीधार महादेश में भीम नाम से प्रख्यात था धनवारी महाबली धन धता और भीषणा पर क्रमी राजा। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। हे महामती व्यासन उस राजा के काम निवास कौंधिन्यम नाम का नागर में तम। जय श्री गणेश भगवान। समन्ता तात अन्य राजा उसके कर ढाता था। जब वहाँ युद्ध के लिए भराता था तो दास करो सैनिका जिनमें गजरोही। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। अश्वारोही तथा पधाते एवं नरता रूप धा सैनिका भी समान ले ठाते उसके आगे चले टेटे तथा उठने सैनिका उसके पीछे चले ताम। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय। श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। So devotees and friends, what happens now? It says here, Vyasji, that he is telling now to Brahma, he says that you have already glorified that great city of Siddhi Kshetra, and especially how Gajanan have blessed that city. We heard, my dear friends, how Gajanan removes evil, how he gives all desire and increases merit. But once more, O Brahma, tell me a small katha about Ganesha. For even though I have been drinking of this nectar, of these wonderful kathas, these description and these glories of Sri Ganesha, I have not had enough. My dear friends, what Vyasji is showing to us here, Vyasji is showing to us the true nature of an adhikari. What is the true nature of an adhikari? An adhikari, my dear friends, Tulsidas ji did it wonderfully in Balkand of the Ramayana, where he says that the adhikari will be like the ocean. He will never be satisfied with the amount of water coming in from the streams and the rivers. So too our air, our listening capacity must never get saturated with the glories of Sri Ram or Ganesha or any one of the devatas. But we must be able to be willing to accept the knowledge as it comes and not to just lock off at certain time. You know, if I should go a few minutes after 9, 5 past 9, I might still have a little chance. But if it becomes 6 minutes past 9, everybody will lock off on me and leave me alone here saying what I have to say. This is how we are. We lock off when the words of God are coming. But my dear friends, when we 2 o'clock in the morning, in the rain and the mud, jumping and dancing with, you know what, you won't lock off. When they're locking off, when those who want to lock off there say time to close, no, we want one more. But if Pandit goes 6 minutes past that, everybody lock off Pandit. That is how the human mind is. We lose divinity, my dear friends, for the worldly thing. But here Vyasji is teaching to us, my dear friends, the true adhikari. Brahma have been telling to him all about Ganesha as we have been hearing all the evenings gone by. It was Brahma telling us all these kathas that we heard for the last few nights, you know. And yet still here, Vyasji is telling to him, he said, I ain't get enough yet. I still want some more. Prince Bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. So devotees and friends, it tells us, Brahmaji said, he says, son, Vyasji, I am going to tell to you with a great amount of love. And I'm going to carry it as far as I can, as deep as I can. And he's saying, you know, I will tell to you the katha of Sri Ganesh, the God who presides over all the gods. This is the Ganesha we are talking about. All the gods have given to him in the manifested form. All the gods have given to him the permission to be the leader, to be the first to receive any devotion. And that's a katha by itself again. So it says, in the country of Vidarbha, there was a great king, wonderful king. He was exceptional in all his actions, you know. He was very wise. O Vyas, he dwelled in that city of Kaundinya, and he had generous hands. And he gave and he gave and he gave. My dear friends, it says thousands of people benefited and became happy because of this great king and his doing. But my dear friends, This great king had a very wonderful wife by the name of Charu Hasini. The king had a very illustrious wife by the name of Charu Hasini. And her lotus face blossomed. Devotees and friends, it says, this wife was always at the side of this great king. And so, devotees and friends, it tells to us, every devoted one to the gods and the Brahmins uttered their obedience to the law. She, that wonderful wife, Charu Hasini, was very loyal to her husband. Her life was her husband, and she was always obedient to her husband's command. Well, this is in Satyuga. Not so, Dinesh. All the wives in Satyuga was obedient to the husband. We don't know what this Kali age, how it run. We have to observe that because we have so much to deal with. So, devotees and friends, it tells to us, because of faith, she had no son, but she was a very beautiful woman. Let us listen as it happens. Jai Sri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagavan. 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 Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati. All together. Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Sri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagavan. Jai Sri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagavan. Use sarvanga sundare प्रिय से रानी को देख कर दुखे पुत्रहीन राजा भीम यहाँ वचन बोले कि हमें संपूर्ण रज्या त्यागम करके उत्तम मान में चला जाना चाहिए। जय श्री गणेश। पुत्रहीन व्याकी की कोई गति नहीं होती, उसको स्वर्गा नहीं मिलाता और उसे कोई सुख नहीं मिलाता। जय श्री गणेश, जय जय भगवान। देवता उसके द्वार प्रधाता, भ्या जय श्री गणेश नहीं ग्रहण करते और पिता उसके द्वार प्रधान भ्याम नहीं ग्रहण करते। मैं के गर्भा से मेरा जन्मा लेना वृथा हो गया है। मेरे गृहाधन और कुल सभा भृत हो गया है। पुत्रा के बिना मेरे समस्ताम करम निश्चां या मेवावफल हो गए। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान।
जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान।
जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति
जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय।
बजरंगाबली हो बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली हनुमंता बोल।
बजरंगाबली हो बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली हनुमंता।
बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली
हनुमंता।
बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली
हनुमंता।
बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली
बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली हनुमंता। बजरंगाबली ओ बजरंगाबली बजरंगाबली हनुमंता।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
शरणं गणेश शरणं गणेश
शरणं गणेश शरणं गणेश
पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश। उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की। So my dear friends, having all the money and having all the wealth and behaving the best person, having the best wife and everything else, my dear friends, Brahma is telling to us that this wonderful couple, Rani Charu Hasini and Raja Bhim, they had no children. And Raja Bhim believed that if he doesn't have a son, then he doomed for hell. Garud Puran tells us otherwise, though. You know, some stages. But my dear friends, this is his belief. So then he decided, he says, listen, he says that I need this little extra happiness. And I accept. You see, my dear friends, it is important to follow this katha. Raja Bhim accept that it is his karma. It is his karma that he's not having any children. So what he decided to do? The word tyag, my dear friends, means to surrender, to give up. Tyag in the time of writing of the Puranas was to give up all that you have and so on and go to the hermitage of the great saints and sages and sit down there and pray. How can tyag be, in this present age of Kali Yuga? My dear friends, what you need to give up in this Kali age? We need to give up some of the pleasure time and give, my dear friends, priority to satsang. Because it tells us in this Kali age, Jai Ram Sita Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Pratama Bhakti Santana Kara Sangha, Dosari Rati Mama Katha Prasanga, Jai Rama Sita Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama,
Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Vinu Sat Sangha, Vinu Sat Sangha Vivekana Hoye, Rama Kripa Sulabhanaye Hoye. Jai Rama Sita Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki. So tyag, my dear friends, is to give up, to surrender. What Prabhu Shri Ram tells to us, Pratham Bhakti Santana Kara Sangha, that the very first principle of devotion is to find yourself in satsang. And when you find yourself in satsang, tu sarirati mama katha prasanga, you will have the knowledge of the katha, of the scriptures, that not as much as a pin goes with you beyond the grave. And that's the only time that you can have tyag. That's the only time that you can give up, my dear friends. When you come to that understanding and that awareness, not just only the awareness, but when you come and you be very knowledgeable that everything that you have on this earth will remain right here for people to fight for and live after you gone. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. When you understand that not as much as a pin, not as much as a dust of sand, a grain of sand goes with you beyond the grave, my dear friends, then you would learn and you would know to surrender. Surrender to who? Surrender to that which is already surrendering the world. All the things that you can perceive, go char jahang lagi maya, all these things which you can perceive in your mind, my dear friends, know it to have a beginning and know it to have an end. Yes, it will have a beginning and it will have an end. That is what you want to surrender to, something which will give you sadness and sorrow at the end. That is what you want to surrender to. My dear friends, Raja Bhim give us a very good example here. When everything failed and he realized and he came to the understanding that it is his karma, he decided, I am going now to give my life to God. He says, and if I give my life to God, it is a win-win situation for me, Raja Bhim, and my wife, Rani Charu Hansini. It is a win-win situation. What Raja Bhim is talking about, a win-win situation if he surrenders his palace and so on. If I go to prayer, I may get a child. If I surrender to Sri Ganesh, I will get a child. And that will give me happiness. However, if I don't get a child, it doesn't matter. It means that I will have that eternal, I will have that which will be able to give me that eternal peace and that eternal happiness. God. How many of you have God into your heart today? We have Him just for a small bit of time. We just have God for a small bit of time. If we always have God into our hearts and to our minds, my dear friends, we will never be agitated. Sadness will never come to our lives. Because we understand there and then that God is in charge. And I am just living my karma. I am living my karma. The karma of Pandit Vishnu is to be speaking to you from this point here today. From under these people tree, under these neem tree, all this was my karma. On the satsang day, Munesh have he always come to me, what you want? He tries his best to give me what I want. But my dear friends, I stand up right there and I told him, I said, I want 2 murti on the outside, on the entrance, 2 of these murtis on the outside. And we'll put a tent and I'll stay down in the corner. And 3 minutes after, I said, no, Munesh. I say, see, if we put them murtis under these trees, we'll be like in heaven. And my dear friends, tell me, this natural beautification of this place gives us that feelings of heaven. But you must keep that feelings when you leave here also. Don't only feel like you're in heaven here for these few moments. And what Munesh told me, he said, Krishna, tell me already to cut the wall. He said, Krishna, give me permission, I'm ready to cut the wall. I remember 3 years ago when I had to continue with the Hanuman Yatra. I gave Munesh the thing, no, I didn't give nobody, I just put it up on the Facebook. That satsang will be up by by Krishna home. I never asked Krishna nothing. Krishna don't tell me 2 o'clock in the morning when I put it up, do he give me permission? This is karma. Karma is a networking. It happens when you have to happen and where it have to happen. It don't happen nowhere else. This is the network of karma. Our karma is to test all of you here today. Whether you want to listen to the music across the road and disturb you or listen to me. This is your karma. Do not be angry with nobody. This is our karma. And we have to place our karma, my dear friends, and understand our karma. Raja Bhim understand his karma. And what he did? He called 2 of his chief ministers and he said, listen. He said, I am going now. I am going to put this kingdom into your hands, and you all will have to run this. It says here, my dear friends, that all the great, people, because he treated his people very well, They told to him, they say, we do not want you to go. He says, no. these two ministers will treat you just as I did. And so, my dear friends, he and his wife then surrendered into the forest. And when they reach into the forest, my dear friends, what happened? As they keep going and going and going, they reach to a particular place. Let us listen now as I try to put the katha to a close this evening, and I will continue from where I leave out tonight, tomorrow evening. So if you want to continue to hear this sweet katha, you have to make up your mind to come back tomorrow evening. But I'll give you the best out of it now, right now. Prem se bole Shri Ram Chandra Bhagwan ki jai. Jai Shri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagwan. 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 Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Shri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagwan. Jai Shri Ganesh, Jai Jai Bhagwan. विश्वामित्र बोले हे राजन, तुमको सदा गुणी और महायशस्वी पुत्र होगा। जय श्री गणेश, जय जय भगवान। तुम कहीं से आए हो, हरे नागर का क्या नाम है? यहाँ सब मुझे भात लाओ, हे राजा श्रेष्ठम। जय श्री गणेश, जय जय भगवान। तभी मैं तुम्हारे पाप नाश हेतु पत्नी करूंगा। भीम बोले हे स्वामी, विधार भादेश मैं मेरे कौन धन्या। नाम का नागर है, मेरा नाम भीम है। यहाँ मेरी पत्नी चरो हसीनी, नाम बले है। मैंने पुत्र प्राप्त हेतु तपाधन और व्रत अधीनाना प्रकार के यथा की। तथापि पूर्वा जन्म में किए गए पाप के कारण ईश्वर को दया नहीं आती। तब रज्या त्याग कर हम दोनों वन में आ गए हैं। हे मुने, यहाँ हम दोनों को आपके चरण के दर्शन हुए हैं। बहुत से बनों में ब्रह्म करते हुए मुझे दैवाने ही यहाँ पहुँचाया है। साधु हो के संगति से ग्रहे उत्तम फल देती है। जय श्री गणेश, जय जय भगवान। जय जय गणपति, जय गणपति, जय गणेश, जय गणपति, जय जय गणपति, जय गणपति, जय गणेश, जय Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki. And so devotees and friends, Raja Bhim and his Rani, his wife, they reached into the forest, my dear friends. And the description here given of all the animals living together. My dear friends, when you see all the vicious animals living together, what it tells to you, that place, there is only love vibrating into those areas. Reading of Swami Abhedananda and his journey from the 1890s into somewhere around 1959 record. There was recording of his great lectures, which I was fortunate to have the copy of in 11 books. And in one of those he says, when he used to be now practicing and now learning on the bank of the Ganges, he says sometime every 2 or 3 days, then they get a dry piece of bread. He said, and he will take that piece of bread and place it, a little piece in his hands, and place it in the water of the Ganges. And he says that the fishes will come and eat the bread from his hand. And he made mention, you would also look at the recording of the Lord Jesus Christ, and you would see the lion and the tigers all among the lambs, the sheep, the small sheep, and all of that. And they're living harmoniously together. Why? He's saying because he never had any negative vibration in his heart. The fish felt his, aura of peace and love. And so he was able to come and partake of the bread from his hands. So too, my dear friends, the description given here, Raja Bhim is saying that all the animals were living so much together. The animals were living so much together. Why we as human beings cannot live together? Why we all have to be rumbling and fighting? Because of what? The Abhiman, the ego. I am Pandit Vishnu. Prem se bole Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. My dear friends, Pandit Vishnu is nothing but, raw flesh. If I did not have this nice casing of this beautiful skin coming over me, none only would Allah want to watch me here. So what is Pandit Vishnu really? Pandit Vishnu is what I can offer to you, not the physical body. So Raja Bhim and his wife were so happy when they felt, my dear friends, that vibration of love into the forest. When you reach into a surrounding where love is flowing, my dear friends, you feel that sense of one. You feel that sense of belonging. And when you are there where there is no love, as you reach, you're ready to run away. Prem se bole Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. When there is no love, you feel to run away, Jit. In your own house. If your house does not have that harmony and that love and that, from the time you enter the door, you're ready to run out back through the back door. But this was not the situation with Raja Bhim and his queen in the forest. Even among the animals, they felt so much wanted. And so, my dear friends, they knew that there was a great soul somewhere around for this kind of love to be flowing here. If you do not have a loving leader, if you do not have a leader who will project the love to you and who will ignite that fire of love and who ignite the fire of hate and who ignite the fire, my dear friends, that he does not care what happens to anybody else. Once he gets what he wants, everybody runs away from that place because there is no love, there is no peace, there is no harmony. And this is what happened here. And what happened, it says, as they moved closer into the forest, they came to a beautiful ashram and they are seated on the kush grass. And why, my dear friends, always you hear that the saints are seated on a kush grass? The mat of kush grass. The kush grass represents Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, that which nothing cannot exist without. And so too, my dear friends, this is the saints. The saints create this, this cycle in this world. And so what happens? It tells to us, there was that great sage, Vishwamitra. And so Vishwamitra inquired from them, tell me, where have you come from and what your city is called? And so the excellent king told to him, he said, my name is Bhim. My wife's name is Kaundhin. No, I'm from the city, Kaundhinya. My wife is Charu Hasi. We have tried diligently to obtain a son. My vows give austerity and so on. But because of an evil act committed to me earlier on, I could not have, I accept that it is my karma of my last birth. So I have come now. Devotees and friends, I have come to surrender myself and give up all the worldly things. Devotees and friends, association with the saints, association and being in satsang, there is nothing. Binu satsanga vivekana hoi, Rama kripana sulabana soi. That it tells to us that nothing comes to us without being in satsang, but we can only be in satsang when we have the privilege and the blessings of God. So he says, for this reason, we have come here to get the blessing, to pray and to get that blessing. Devotees and friends, Raja Bhim, Vishwamitra, great sage Vishwamitra told to him, Vishwamitra Muni told to him, Raja Bhim. He said, oh Raja Bhim. He said, yes, you and your beautiful wife, you all will have children. He said, but you did not have any children at this point in time because in your last life, Purma Janma, you have abandoned the rules of the family. You have abandoned the rules of the family because why? You were blinded by a lust for prosperity. Prem Sabali Sri Ganesh Bhagwan ki. You did not have children here because in your last life, you abandoned the rules of family because you were hungry for prosperity. My dear friends, I want to tell to you this evening, yes, our Dharma tells to us that there are 4 final rewards of human life: Arth, Kam, Dharma, Moksha. You must have some wealth. You must enjoy the wealth. You must enjoy it by the Dharma, by the rules which have been given to enjoy it, so that you will always have freedom. Yes. So earth, wealth is part of what we have to maintain our family. And nobody says not to work and have and acquire that wealth. But because of acquiring that wealth and how much you want to acquire, sometimes we forget that we have a family. Sometimes we forget we have family duties. And the family suffers while the money grows. While the money grows, the family suffer. Well, this is what Raja Bhim was told here by Vishwamitra that in your last life, you did not live up to all the family rules. You neglected the family for the purpose of just raising prosperity into your life. And Vishwamitra now is about now to give details of this Purma Janma, this birth which happens before. Prem se bole Shri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. Tomorrow night we'll hear of that great birth that he disobeyed and he did not listen to. Prem se bole Shri Ram Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. My dear friends, I did not know I went so late this evening, and we'll go straight into Arati this evening. Prem se bole Shri Ram Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. All please stand. Who have to crack coconut, come up. Let us all pray. Whatever wish, desire you have in your heart now, keep it there. Om Sri Ganesha Bhagwan ki. Let us all pray. Om Sri Krishna Krishna Sagyaya Pavidya Mamasya Vidya Pradveshi Vala Kalipate Saptame Vaivas Manwantar Kalipatam Charani Jambu Dvipe West Indies Kande Arvatarike Desh Antargati Trinidad Desh Hari Om 56 Mapipi Road Whiteland Chetre Grame Bhautavatari Tad Parhi Namo Narayanaye Namo Namaham Sri Gotra Nameham Sri Dehik Devik Bhautik Tapatria Nirvamurtya Devi Grahari Shimni Madhava Hari Om Sarvesham Mangalam Sarveshan tu Niramayam Sarve Badrani Pashyan tu Makachit Dukabhave Hari Om Tatsat Om Sri Ganesha Bhagwan ki Jai. Jai will lead us off in Arti. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Mata Tero Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Mata Tero Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Mata Tero Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Mata Tero Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Ladhuvanta Bhog Lage Sant Kar Seva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. Mata Tero Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Mata Tero Parvati Pita Mahadeva. Omar will continue.
Om Ganapataye
Ganesh Bhagwan ki.
जय
Putting the hands together, closing the physical eyes, we all pray. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sikha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva O Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की शंकर भगवान की आदि शक्ति देवी दुर्गा माता की सनातन धर्म की ओम श्री गुरुदेवता की जय जय सीताराम. All please have your seat. Arti Prasad and your meals will reach to you. Sitaram to all. Again this evening, we are very happy to have you all. We are very happy to have Sankhya TV recording again for us this evening. This wonderful satsang and this wonderful katha of